Yeah, this one's going to be a Captain Scarlet race, a indestructible. Only for this race, though.
Now, if you ask anyone who's raced here, they'll tell you, nowhere in the world is more important to get a high qualifying position than here on the windy, chicaney, challenging streets of Monaco. We're about to set the grid for tomorrow's race, but potentially for the end of the race too. So welcome along, everyone, to the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check. We've just been pushed down into P18.
I'm not doing that again.
Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino that first opened in 1863. And of course, a certain road race first held in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Tsunoda, Ayrton Senna, and Button, Ocon, Coulthard, Albon, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Stroll, Gasly, Joshua Pearce, and Lawson, Colapinto, Behrman, Oscar Piastri, and Gabriel Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Aaron, O'Sullivan, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for Lights Out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was around 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. sat in P8, well done. Okay, gap to leader, 8.8 seconds. Ocon is ahead of you, less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on fresh hards, that's Albon behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time, 5 laps, 24 laps to go. Gap to your teammate ahead, 2.2 seconds. The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap, well done. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Systems all looking good, head down. Approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. And you've got P7, 7th place. The distance to the leader, 11.7 seconds. Buttons ahead of you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Ocon behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. And your pit window opens in 2 laps time. 21 laps to go. Okay, you're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Let's keep pushing. box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. That's P7 now, P7. Okay, so gap to the leader, 14.7 seconds. Button ahead. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Ocon's behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Your pit window's now open. Pit window is open. 19 laps to go. There's been a problem attaching the right front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us though and finish the race strong. Okay, one stop to go, just one stop left in this strategy. Our true position on the same strategy. They've pitted as well as us, so warm up your tyres and make the most of this stint. Ayrton is in the pits. Ayrton in the pits now. Car behind's just boxed the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre now. Ahead of you. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. We think they've got one more stop. Gap ahead, please. 1.6 seconds. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Tsunoda ahead. Time last lap, 1 minute 19.7. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. We think they've got 1 more stop. And you've got P7, 7th place. Our gap to first place, 18.7 seconds. Okay, that's Tsunoda just ahead. Come on, push hard. And gap to the car in front, 2.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Ocon behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time, 5 laps. And that's 14 laps to go. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Slowly gaining on the car in front. Try to keep up this momentum. Okay, you're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Let's keep pushing. That's P7 now, P7. Okay, gap to leader, 19.4 seconds. Tsunoda's ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead, 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Ocon's behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. Okay, gap to the car in front, 2.8 seconds. Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push. Okay, let's go now, come on. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Ayrton's coming in for his stop now. Albon's ahead of you, and the time last lap, 1:17.3. Okay, Ayrton's ahead of you now. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 4.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Currently sat in 6th. The distance to the leader, 22.4 seconds. And that's Ayrton ahead. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 0.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Button behind. They're on fresh mediums. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 1.7 seconds. P6, you got P6. Okay, so gap to the leader, 23.8 seconds. Senna's just ahead of us, push, push. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Button is behind you now. They're on fresh mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Come on, just 3 laps to go, 3 laps. final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. And we're currently sat in 6th. Our gap to first place, 23.1 seconds. Okay, Ayrton's ahead of you now. And gap to the car in front, 1.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Button behind. They're on old mediums. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap. Okay, gap ahead, 2.2 seconds. Green flag. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
We've seen a brilliant display of the Russell hustle. It's George Russell who wins.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
Only 3 can take to the podium, and here they come. By George, he was good today. The top step awaits for George Russell. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
We have something for you to look at, please. Hey, Chief, we've finished developing a part, and it's now ready for fitting. Make sure to stop by the Assign Upgrade screen when you get the chance.